We are live on YouTube as well.
Okay, great.
Sir,
Yeah, hi Santosh. Yeah. So, good morning, welcome. So, we are having participations getting on board. So, in about 5 minutes, we'll start. 4 to 5 minutes.
sure.
Good morning, attendees. Thanks for joining in and tuning into the webinar today. We will start in 2 to 3 minutes. We have attendees coming in, entering into the room. I think we'll allow them 2 minutes to join in and then we'll start. Hi Nitya, I can see you here. Great to have you. So we have today, of course, the people who have come to the Building Strong Brands have met Santhosh. So Santhosh will talk a little bit more on Insta, Facebook, and WhatsApp today. And we also have another webinar back to back today at 4 o'clock. That's with the MD of Dindigul Talapakatti, Mr. Nagasamy Dhanapalan. He has been one of the success stories from F&B in India, and being a brand based out of Dindigul, he came and he has grown now to a 70 outlet large brand, and one of the important critical milestone is that they have raised private equity and professionalized themselves. So he'll talk about the whole funding journey. So it's a funding masterclass, and for people who are in F&B, it'll be very interesting to understand from him on the funding journey. And people who are actually having traditional brands, they can actually kind of relate to him, because he's a third generation entrepreneur. How he took a traditional single store a restaurant from the Dikal to all the way to America is something. Is a fascinating story. So you should log in case you're free by 4 o'clock. And on tomorrow, of course, we have the webinar with Santhosh again. We'll talk to you more on that. And we on Saturday we have the future of F&B business. That's again an interesting one. I'll talk to you a little bit more on that. So we start another minute exactly. Hi Santhosh, we can see you.
Yes, hello sir, hello all. Hope all of you are good, safe, and bored.
So is that the new fashion statement, or because salons are closed?
Salons, this is also because of salons are closed, but I'm not planning to cut it. Let's see.
Most rock star look கொண்டு வந்துட்டு இருக்கீங்க.
Just want to see, just want to make sure, who said tech and digital are boring. It's not actually.
So for the benefit of the viewers who are logged in first time with MMA and the RAI ecosystem, we are doing other webinars as well, which I'll talk about. Tomorrow, what's coming is Go Digital. Next week, we have venture funding. So we'll give you more in detail as we go live. I think we'll go live now if you're okay, Santhosh.
Yes, I'm ready, sir. Yeah.
Okay, all of you are ready to hit the session. Type yes if you're all excited. Good morning or good afternoon, whichever you'd like to wish. Yes, I think we have some messages coming in. Yes, we'll go live now. Thank you guys for joining us for the webinar with Santhosh, which is a Go Digital Masterclass. We'll specifically handle, how do you grow your business in Instagram, Facebook, and WhatsApp. So that's what Santhosh is going to handle today. And I'll just do a quick introduction about this platform, and then we'll take it on from Santhosh. It's a quick 1 hour webinar. So, we'll just run through the slides. So this is, as you know, presented by Madras Management Association, one of the leading management associations in India, then Retailers Association of India, which is actually the formal industry body for 15,000 retail members across India. They represent 5 lakh stores. Then it's also presented by Rainmakers and Blue Koi as well. We have other partners, and there are a lot of attendees here from our partner members as well. Not just MMA and RAI members, but we have Vicky Flow from Chennai. We have Your Story Readers, Head Start, CK Angels, SPI, 50K Ventures from Hyderabad, then MSMEX all the way from Maharashtra. So welcome all, and thanks to all our partners for making this possible. So as you know, we, and for the benefit of the uninitiated, we do a series of webinar courses online, and primarily taking advantage of all the lockdown, but hopefully post-lockdown, we'll also take it offline with the MMA facility. Last week, we did Building Strong Brands, which was attended by a quite sizable, about 80-90 plus, audience. This week, tomorrow and day after, we're doing the Go Digital program. And next week, we'll be doing the venture funding. And the last week, we'll be doing the franchise your brand. If you have a brand, how do you franchise? So if you see, there's all a commonality in this. These are all being designed keeping in mind post-COVID scenario, when you will need to hustle and do a lot to actually move your business forward. So how to bring in money through funding, or how to leverage your brand and your idea through franchising, how to make your brand stronger through digital and through basics of brand building, These are all things which will help you strengthen your business better. So it's essentially targeted towards a small and medium entrepreneur, growing retailer, growing entrepreneur, manufacturing, who wants to get into, marketing their product and stuff like that. And it's also very suitable for people in their corporate careers looking at, becoming better marketing professionals or finance professionals or whatever. Right. So I'd like to share a couple of testimonials just for the people who are new to this platform. Like one is from Ms. Meena, who's from PVR. So she shared her, testimonial. The second one is from Nitya. Nitya is in fact there online today as well. Thank you, Nitya, for sharing this, testimonial as well. So we are slowly having a community who's happy with the content that we are putting up here. So a quick word on upcoming webinars. We have, as I was telling you earlier, we have a webinar from Mr. Nagasamy Dhanapalan of Thindikkal Talapakatti today at 4 o'clock. So people who are interested in understanding funding, process of funding, how do you raise funding, please hear it from the man himself who's raised 250 crores just about 3-4 months back from a professional private equity investor called CX Partners. So that's a journey you would not want to miss. And then on Saturday, we have a future of F&B business. So two wacky F&B, I would say entrepreneurs from Chennai, Bhavesh Shah. Bhavesh is better known as the popcorn man. He's the guy who bought the, famous Satyam popcorn to Satyam. So he was actually the F&B head of Satyam. And then we have Sandesh Reddy, who's fondly known as Sandy of Sandy's Chocolate Labs. So apart from that, he's now taken over Wang's Kitchen and a few other businesses as well. So he'll talk about all that, and they both will essentially talk about what's up in store post-COVID for F&B businesses. So people who are looking to invest or want to start F&B businesses, I think it's the right webinars to attend. So today's topic is, so today the star of the show is Santhosh, obviously. So Santhosh Palavesh will be discussing on how do we increase revenue, business revenue through Facebook, Insta, and WhatsApp. So this is going to be what we are going to discuss today. I'll just give you a quick introduction. I think for the people who are first time, just a quick hi from Bala. I'm Balachandra here. I'm also an entrepreneur and founder of Wassup Laundry, India's pioneering laundry and dry cleaning brand. Am I audible, Santhosh?
Yes, very well you are, sir. Yes.
Okay. So we started one of the pioneer brands in an unorganized space like laundry. So I have about 20 years of retail experience from a background of high design, been with large brands like Your Story, Naturals, Thindikkal Talapakatti in various roles, advising them and consulting as well. I'm a council member at Retail Association of India, and that's where we are. So I'm putting this together as your curator. And we have Santhosh Palavesh here, who is the star of the show today. So Santhosh is a digital marketing guru. He's a youth icon, as you can see himself. I think it's a language that most of the youth understand, which is digital, which is what Santhosh knows best. He's also a founder of a successful digital agency from Chennai, UMM Digital, which is doing projects all across the world, apart from a lot of key clients in Chennai as well, Tamil Nadu, India. So whoever are Mahatria Ra followers and know how the tech works and social media works clockwise for Mahatria Ra, that's completely run by Santosh's team. So, and he's also been involved with NAN and the startup ecosystem, works with multiple other brands, and he's worked with leading personalities in the business and political domain on their personal branding. So a lot of people that you see online, if you have a good profile, I think a lot of it goes to Santhosh for credit. So welcome Santhosh on board today for the masterclass. And before we go into the masterclass, I would also like to just quickly highlight the audience that tomorrow we are going in for, of course, today Santhosh is going to go talk specifically on Insta and Facebook and WhatsApp, but we have a detailed 2-day webinar. So for people who want to quickly understand in 6 hours, what are the things that you need to do for going digital, for taking your business digital, for getting sales online, for transacting, for discovering customers, I think this is the best webinar that you can take. We have curated it and decided it in such a way that we are looking at 3 parts. One is discovery. If you say you're selling shirts, how do you help people discover that you're selling shirts in Nungambakam online? And then fulfillment. So once somebody discovers it, how do you actually fulfill it online? How do you transact? How do you put up your product categories? How do you take payments and stuff like that? So that's fulfillment. and then engagement. Post a customer becomes a customer, then how do you engage them towards ensuring that they buy often from you? So that's where engagement comes in. So we put this all together into a wonderful course for 2 days, 3 hours each. It will be light on you, and that's going to be again headed by Santhosh, and we have leading other industry experts. The value of whatever we put together is about 2,500, but we are doing at a special price because of COVID. We're keeping it all at an affordable. Value of 25,000. We're keeping it affordable at about 3,000, but I think we will try and make it something better for you today. So people who are attending today, if you guys are logging in, we will give a special price of 1,499 only for the attendees of this webinar. So that's something that I'll share the link with you. That will be open for an hour. Now we'll go into it's Go Digital, not Go Branding, into the Go Branding session masterclass with Santhosh. Over to you, Santhosh. You can take over. I'll stop sharing the screen.
Right, thank you. Yeah, so let me go ahead and So before me starting this entire thing, I would obviously I'm seeing that's around 47 participants that we have right now, right? So if participants, you could just type in the industry that you're from, that will kind of help me in terms of tuning the entire discussion towards your particular industry, so that you'll be able to relate to it much better. So if you're from retail, if you're from small businesses, or if you're a home-based business, whatever it is, if you can just type it out, right? So that will be helpful for me in terms of trying to understand, which how to basically take that conversation too, right? And are you able to see my screen, Balasa?
I can see you, Santosh.
Yeah. Okay. So you can see my screen, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Great. Okay. So a quick introduction about myself. Yes. So I found this digital agency called Digital. So we build applications, web applications, as well as we manage digital marketing as well. In fact, we moved last year to London as the headquarters, and so we have offices in London, Dubai, Chennai, as well as in Singapore. So we work for clients across the world. And apart from that, talking about me personally, I'm very passionate about digital because I personally think it's a golden era that we are living in. Like, for example, reaching out to thousands or lakhs of people earlier in 20 years back was not that easy that we could actually leverage right now. So which means better the communication and better the social media, faster we could actually grow our business in, right? So I think we are living in a golden time. But the sad part, which I personally feel, is not many people are leveraging digital to their fullest, right? One, maybe because of lack of knowledge, or two, because of they don't know some of the hidden secrets behind it, and which is what we're looking forward to share with you, and then take it forward from there, right? So today's webinar will not be about generic digital marketing, but it will be more focused on the Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp community, right? So let's deep dive into the particular ecosystem right now. Okay, so taking a step back, obviously Facebook bought over Instagram for $1 billion deal, and Facebook acquired WhatsApp for $19 billion deal, right? So these were one of the best strategic acquisitions that happened in the world ever, right? So I'm sure all of you will be able to relate. Let's say if I keep talking to my friend about a particular car that I'm interested in, or let's say if I'm talking to my friend about a particular mobile phone that I'm interested in buying, I'm talking to him in WhatsApp, and suddenly if you see in Facebook, those ads start popping up to me, right? That's one of the best integrations that Facebook has ever done, right? So back in 2018, April, all of us all around the world would have got a message in WhatsApp, which most of us would have ignored, that says our messages in WhatsApp, though it's encrypted, it is actually being run through an ad ecosystem to understand what we're speaking, to target ads into our Facebook or our Instagram ecosystem, if we are talking about it, right? For people who have connected their Facebook and WhatsApp, right? So that's a very important, powerful tool. So which means if I'm talking to, let's say, an XYZ about my laundry, for example, I could get a WhatsApp laundry ad on my Facebook wall, within like 10-15 minutes on me speaking about it in WhatsApp. So that's the power that Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp integration, brings onto the board, right? So yeah, so now as you see on screen, Facebook, it has more than 2 billion users, WhatsApp close to around 1.5 billion, Messenger again 1.3 billion, and Instagram close to a billion, right? And Instagram is really growing fast. Okay, so before we jump into the advertising thing, we need to make sure we understand the ecosystem much better. So are you able to see my screen, Balsa? Is the thing visible? Are you guys able to see my screen?
Santosh, if you can make it full screen, it will be helpful.
Yeah, okay, got it. Yeah. So yeah. Right. Okay. So that's the that's the Facebook, WhatsApp, Instagram ecosystem, right? So let me explain it to you here, right? So there are five major components. One is, so I'll tell you how to basically read this particular graph, right? So there are five major components here. As you see, Facebook newsfeed, which obviously we all know, Facebook Messenger, WhatsApp, Instagram Stories, and Instagram feed, right? So if you see the top here, there is the passive side of things and the active side of things, right? So how many of you have experience putting post on Facebook, right? But the post that you usually share is not actively reaching to all the customers, but very less number of people react to it, and etc. That's because you are doing a passive strategy here, right? Facebook newsfeed is actually very passive. But at the same time, if you see Instagram newsfeed here towards the end of it, it's actually very active. Instagram newsfeed is more active, it's more focused. So we get faster engagements here, right? So Facebook newsfeed is typically used for posting, commenting on it, and for content creation. Instagram is also used for posting, comment, structured content creation, whereas Messenger and WhatsApp is basically used for the chat aspect of it, right? Now what we need to understand here is everything is integrated. Now if you see the diagram in the top here, whenever you visit Facebook in a browser, Facebook actually stores some cookies. So whatever you search in the browser, Facebook gets that data and then throws you similar ads in Facebook, right? That is again another powerful tool. If you're like, let's say, searching for, I know somebody's put home-based consulting on Vastu on Feng Shui, right? So if I search for, Vastu consultation or Feng Shui consultation, maybe in a Just Dial or maybe in a Google, right? And if we have enabled a Facebook and a WhatsApp campaign, the moment people search on it or the moment people are talking about it to their friends in WhatsApp, we can make our ads come in Facebook, right? That's the beauty of this Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp ecosystem. But a lot of people do not leverage this. For example, even today, a lot of Facebook pages have not officially connected with their Facebooks or WhatsApps, for example, right? So they might have a very beautiful functioning Facebook page, but they have actually not integrated with WhatsApp business. That's where they people lag into it, right? That's where the integration mistake happens, right? So that's very important, right? So let me jump to the next slide. Yeah. So that's the Facebook WhatsApp experience. So what Facebook has done is it has enabled users and customers to directly interact with WhatsApps instead of going to one landing page, instead of going to one lead generation and etc. Right? The problem with those strategies are, I'm sure many of you would have tried Facebook-based lead generation, Facebook-based website clicks ad and etc. But the conversion won't happen. You would have run ads, let's say for example, 1,000 rupees per day, right? You would have ran it for 10 days for 10,000 rupees. But what would have happened is, you would not have gotten enough number of conversions, right? Because people need to jump from Facebook ad to a website, and they will have to drop in their inquiry on the website. For that, your website has to look good. It has to be mobile responsive. There's a lot of factors there, right? In the second case, there's Facebook and there is Facebook lead generation. There what happens is people typically tend to leave false leads, for example. So we run ads and a lot of times we keep getting bogus leads, people who haven't shown interest but we would have got their numbers. Or when we try sorry, are you able to see my slide? I got a message that somebody is not able to.
No, Santhosh, it's not only it's stuck in the previous slide.
How about now?
No. So I think you just stop sharing and again reshare.
Yeah, got it. Yeah, how about now?
Yeah, done.
Right. So this was the previous slide, and now, yeah, yes, we are here. Right. So that's the Facebook WhatsApp integration, right? So what happens is when you convert them using a website or using a lead generation, the conversion quality becomes very less. So now what Facebook has enabled is, if you have integrated your Facebook page with your WhatsApp business or your WhatsApp number, if you start running your ads, when people show interest on your ads, they can directly, the messages, the pings that they give on Facebook ads will directly open up on your WhatsApp, right? So now what you need, all you need to do is make sure that your sales personnel is active on WhatsApp, and you can directly reply to them, and you can start taking the conversation forward. This is very easier, very much easy, right? When rather than trying to build a landing page, or than trying to do a lead capture form and etc. This is actually much more better and efficient, right? So how do we integrate a Facebook and WhatsApp? There is a 3-4 step integration process, which we'll be covering in detail in the 2-day webinar starting from tomorrow. Okay, but on a high level, obviously, when you go to Facebook ads, you have the integration facility. All you need to do is connect your Facebook with your WhatsApp number, and then the option automatically gets enabled for you, right? The details and technicalities will be discussed by the tomorrow session, right? And the next thing is obviously WhatsApp can also be integrated into your website, right? I still see a lot of websites haven't done this, right? So what typically websites try and do is they put a contact form in, let's say, a contact page for which I need to come to the contact page in the last, drop in an name, phone number, email ID, and then click submit, and then it comes to your email, and then you reach out to them. So that is number one, the user experience difficulty of 4 clicks, 5 clicks before somebody can drop a lead. That's number one. And number two, the time taken, right? For example, I respond to WhatsApp or anybody responds to WhatsApp quicker than to emails, right? So when that is done, why don't you attract your customers to your WhatsApp rather than to your email? So why don't you allocate a separate WhatsApp business number? So that's also possible. There's a lot of integration tools that are available to integrate WhatsApp within your website. So if I'm interested in any one of your product, all I need to do is click on the contact, and then the message automatically opens in WhatsApp, and the conversation is already on, right? So that's the power of Facebook WhatsApp integration. It evokes quicker conversations, quicker sales closures, and etc. Right. So moving forward, let's deep dive into Instagram a bit, right? So obviously, world is today more in Instagram than in Facebook. Not that Facebook reach has gone down, but Facebook reach has definitely gone down when you look at the millennial age, right? So when you're looking at age group of, if your customers fall between age group of 18 to 35, I think they are more on Instagram than on Facebook, right? But if it's more, let's say 30, 35 plus till 60, they are more on Facebook. So Instagram is definitely gaining that popularity, and Instagram is proving very successful for businesses to make money rather than in Facebook. So which means, what do I mean by that? I would say, if you're trying to spend the time creating a Facebook page, posting content, I would rather ask you to do it on Instagram rather doing it on Facebook, right? So Instagram sales funnel is pretty simple. So you maintain a nice flashy Instagram page. So people come have a look at your page, and they have a look at your content and etc. And so that's the first level, right? So that's the saw level. And then if they like your product, they're going to start following your page, right? So they click the follow button, and from then on, whatever you post is going to appear on their feed, and they start following it, right? And if they find your product interesting, obviously what they do is they try and contact you via direct message, or you can still do a WhatsApp integration with Instagram, which I will show you a live example also. And then if you then once the contact thing is done, then the purchase level happens, which obviously you can integrate your payment gateways like Google Pay, Paytm, UPI, etc., and start receiving payments as well. So Instagram is a very strict 4-level funnel. Now, who can leverage Instagram, right? So is Instagram for everybody? I would say to a large extent, yes. So if you see here, Instagram is definitely suitable for homemade businesses, professional services, small and medium businesses, e-commerce, definitely yes, real estate, travel agents, food and beverage, restaurants, bakery, etc., media and influencers, and more, right? So these are all the industries that or the domains which can actually leverage Instagram to the fullest, right? Right. So these are some of the snapshots of some of the successful pages in Instagram. So let's deep dive it in detail. I have a case study section towards the end of the webinar. We'll go through it in detail. But from this page, what typically do is, there are a lot of success stories. Like for example, I have seen homemakers procuring salwars, saris, dresses, maintaining a nice Instagram page, and then selling through Instagram and making 8 lakh, 10 lakh revenue per month, month on month on a, only by using Instagram, no website, no e-commerce, etc., etc. Right? I have seen health drinks, I have seen health and wellness product, I have seen marriage counselors, I have seen astrologers, I have seen home-based food, home-based cakes and bakes deliveries. I've seen travel agents successfully driving their business only by leveraging Instagram and making the best use of Instagram. Right? So Instagram is indeed a very, very powerful tool. Right? So now, how do you leverage that? How do you create a successful Instagram page? It's only a very 6-step process, right? So I've listed down the 6 steps here. So number one is you need to have a very good bio, right? Instagram has the bio thing where you can write your description. So what you need to do is you need to write a really classy bio, which shouldn't be boring. At the same time, it shouldn't be over creative, trying to camouflage your product. So it has to be a very fine mix. Like you need to balance between selling your product as well as communicating a story. That's very, very, very important, right? And number two, let's not forget, Instagram is all about show off. Instagram is all about glamour, right? So which means your content has to be very important. The more glamorous your content is, the more attractive, aesthetically good your content is, the better your post likes or sales industry. And the content also needs to be very engaging, right? So I'll basically tell you on how to go about it as well. But the idea is you need to start posting pretty regularly, right? But what is the post frequency? What kind of content to go in for? What is the time of post and etc. It's a detailed subject all by itself, right? In fact, you don't need to even spend so much money on Instagram page like how you need to do it on Facebook to improve your followers, right? If your content is really good, Instagram likes will automatically start improving only by using relevant hashtags, which is the third point here, right? So you need to use relevant hashtags with every post to show, to help improvise your content reach, right? There are a lot of tools for it to analyze hashtags. I see a lot of people, I think I covered this in previous webinar as well, where people use random hashtags, etc., etc. You can use random hashtags, but the thing is, the random hashtags is not having much of a followers, right? So you need to follow hashtags that is actually being followed by those thousands or lakhs or millions of people. By using those relevant hashtags, your post is actually going to pop up in all their feed, and that's how you basically improve your reach. For example, if I'm looking at, let's say, let me take that feng shui for example, right? So if I'm looking at feng shui related content, I'm following pages using the hashtag feng shui. If a feng shui consultant is also putting a post with the hashtag of feng shui, then there are high chances that I will get his post. So that's how you basically need to do it. So hashtag is the key for growth of Instagram followership, right? That again, there are 2 3 tools, free tools as well as paid tools, using which you can narrow down relevant hashtags for your businesses, and you can start using that, which obviously will be covering in the today session in detail because of the time shortage, in this particular webinar. And fourth, definitely, we need to improve the quality of content. If content is bad, trust me, nobody is going to follow your Instagram page, because how many of you guys have been following Instagram page that doesn't put good quality content, right? Because nobody is here to waste their time on pages that talks nothing, right? So the quality of content is very important. So your quality of content has to be in the lines of infotainment, right? Information plus entertainment. Only information is also boring. Only entertainment is also not preferred. So it has to be infotainment. So there has to be a learning which has to be put in a very creative manner. I have one very good case study for you from a retail sector Instagram page, which I'll be running to you towards the end of the webinar now, right? And fifth is definitely you can produce video content, because obviously, whenever there's a video, we stop there for, let's say, at least 8 to 10 seconds to see what that video is and etc., right? For people who say, hey, I can't afford a video, or I can't afford to spend huge for making videos and etc., there are a ton of tools that can give you free video content for Instagram, including edits, shorts, and etc., which you don't even need to have a video editor or a graphic designer or an animator to do that for you. There are enough and more platforms out there which you can just log in, choose the content you like, just type out the text or put your own content and just export the video, and your video is ready, right? There are so many easy to do it yourself tools that you don't need to have even literally a team to basically do it for you. So if you pump up your Instagram page with video content, it's going to stand up, right? And last but not the most important is the influencers, including, let me take a real case here, like Palasar was mentioning, Dindigul Talapakatti. Dindigul Talapakatti did a very good influencer campaign, where for Dindigul Talapakatti's Instagram page and Facebook page, they enabled a lot of food bloggers, food influencers, who come to Talapakatti and taste their food and go back to their influencers page, Instagram, Facebook, and write about Dindigul Talapakatti, and that in turn brings in viewers and etc., right? So the bottom line point here is, you need to collaborate with a lot of influencers and bloggers in your domain, and look at collaboration where they can share your content and you can share their content and help improve followership for the same. So that's very important to again build the things very organically, right? Yeah, the most easiest part is you boost your post using a credit card, and it start getting likes. Yeah, that's there. But I would say always plan your social media strategy for organic reach, right? Any sort of paid reach should only be an additional, right? So if you think I'll just promote it and I'll just get some likes and hashtags, so I would say that's more the lazy man approach, and that's not a very creative approach to do it, right? On a longer run, you'll be ending up spending a lot of money, because I have been there where for some of the brands I have seen, they boost their post almost 1,000 rupees for every post. So imagine if I put 30 posts in a month, that's already 30,000 rupees gone, right? So that's not a right strategy. If the content quality is good, try and achieve organic growth, and after that, paid is only going to be an additional here, right? Okay, so some of the pro tips here is, you again should not build just blind followers, right? What's the use of having, let's say, 10,000 followers if you don't even, if you're not even able to convert one single customer out of it, right? So you need to make sure you only build relevant followers, and that is why the hashtag is very important. That is why the content that you post is again very important and stuff like that. And second is definitely good quality content, which I spoke about in the last slide itself. Your content quality has to be good, for which I think there has to be enough amount of time spent on researching the content I'm talking about, and also delivering the content in a very witty manner, right? So, or else you could writer or get your friends' help to do it. And third important point is, let's not forget, I personally get a lot of messages saying, bro, how do you do this? How do I promote my business in Instagram and etc. etc. They might be in the B2B segment. Okay, so here let's not forget, Instagram is good, but at the same time, not all businesses basically get driven using Instagram, right? So does your business really need an Instagram? Is something that it's an assessment that you need to do here, right? So basically, sorry, yeah. So basically, let me just see it here. So the messages that I got here: coffee shops, Instagram is a great choice for you guys. Home-based Vastu and Feng Shui, it's a great shop for you guys. Online-based food aggregator, I am not sure. I need to know more about your business to say whether Instagram can be of good help for you. Gautam has mentioned e-commerce. It's a great thing. Instagram is the go-to tool. Services, wedding photography and filmmaking. I think I have seen brands like Zero Gravity go from literally nowhere to literally to South India's top wedding photography only by leveraging Instagram and Facebook. Software services is Raja MR edited software services. Software services is very critical. So I would say it's a very critical thing where unless your content is very infomercial, Instagram might not be the right choice for you. So I would say don't waste too much time if you're not able to be very creative on your content. So yeah, so that those are some of the things about this, right? Let me jump back to my screens here. So one second. So you need to make sure you need to study your business before starting to Instagram the entire thing, right? And one second. Right. So let's now start looking at some of the Instagram pages that I wanted to run it across to you guys, so that you guys get an idea of how do you basically do this. So let me go ahead and share this. Right. So are you guys able to see my screen now? Are you guys able to see my screen now? Yeah. Okay. Great. So I'm getting some comments, but let me come back to it in a let me come back to it in a bit. Okay. So yeah. So number one is Brand Factory End. Brand Factory End is an e-commerce. Okay, but this is a page that I love. The reason is because every time they put a post, I stop here. I look at their post and only then continue scrolling it. Okay. The reason is though they are selling denims, they are selling handbags, they are selling shoes and etc. Their content is very interactive. Now, for example, look at this, right? So reason to dance on International Dance Day, school Instagram stories, you'll burn 14 calories, you don't have anything else to do anyways, right? It's very witty, right? So the content is something that people will stop, they'll put a like, and if possible they'll put a comment and keep going it. So what Brand Factory does is, for they take it in a very quirky, in a very fun manner, but at the same time they don't forget to market it. Like for example, for every 4 posts once or 5 posts once, they put a post like this that says shows about their offers and etc and stuff like that. So if I like their offer, I'm gonna go to their bio and click on this link and then go to their page and start purchasing things and etc. So they have a very look at this, and they put content like this, right? Quarantine, Suresh and Ramesh. Now these are the kind of content that people come on Instagram for. Let's not forget the basic factor. People come to Instagram for time pass, right? And at that point of time, if we try to educate them too much, or if we try to market to them, it's very simple. They just go unfollow the page and they'll keep going forward, right? So that's very important. And you can put up polls, you can put up competitions, I in fact even saw a very leading e-learning institute called upgrad.com using cat photos and cat pictures on their Instagram ads. Because every time cat photo comes, I just stop there, I just see. So they had a ad creative which says, which is basically a cute kitten with a book, right? So I stopped for a second, but it was actually they're trying to sell MBA, right? I was like, wow, that they're doing it very creative. So that kind of creativity is very, very important, right? So this is a classic example of how your design or how your content strategy should be, right? So let me go to the next case study here, right? So I'm a customer of this page, right? I shop a lot from this guy, right? So what this guy does is he's a plain forward drop shipping company. He buys stuff from China and he sells it in India, as simple as that. And all his products are cheap. For example, let me just go here. So if you see here, there's a nice shoe here, and most of his one sec, it's a little slow, right? So if you see here, he has a list of products. He has watches, he has smartwatches, he has shoes, etc., etc., etc. Right? His sales funnel is very, very simple. So if you like any product, you just click on it. He actually puts the pricing on the site. I'm not sure why it's not showing up. And if you like his product, all you do is this is the WhatsApp integration I spoke to you about. Now this api.whatsapp.com, whatever you see here, it's nothing but once you set up a WhatsApp business, you can go to your settings in WhatsApp and you'll be able to generate this link. And if you click that link, what happens is automatically from Instagram, the WhatsApp just opens here. And if I click open, I get to chat with them almost directly. And you can pre-configure messages that can actually come in here. Now this guy, I know a couple of them doing similar businesses. These guys are doing good 3 lakh to 4 lakh worth of monthly businesses, just selling shoes left, right, and center, selling watches left, right, and center. So if you see here, they are very focused. They don't want to waste too much time on trying to generate content. They don't do quotes, they don't put fancy lines and etc. Their core is very simple. People come to their page for buying stuff, okay, and especially shoes here. So they are very clear that they will only invest on good quality photographs, right? Photograph is very, very important. And by photograph, I don't necessarily mean an immediate DSLR, a photo shoot, and etc. A very common good photography sense, very, very good lighting, and slight touch up. And touch up, you don't need to know Photoshop again, as long as you have Instagram filters and Google Snapseed app. You'll be able to do good color correction and then post it, right? One of the common mistake people do is they don't color correct their photos. They just put dull photos which are not very attractive. When I come on Instagram, I need the images to be bright and attractive, and only then I will shop here. So yeah, so this is a classic case here of this guy surveys only on Instagram page. So here he's put at trusted seller, all India delivery, no cash on delivery, exchange or return. Okay, don't mind the spelling. I'm sure it's some Gujarati style of English. So let's omit that for now. But look at him. He's generated all this 20,000 followers purely by organic selling, right? So he has a Google Pay integration and a WhatsApp UPI integration. So payment is received that manner, right? So this is a classic case of this business is doable by anybody. I know a lot of college guys who finish their college, work in an IT firm, but also do this as part time. So that works for them. So that's one thing that I wanted to speak about. The next is so this cakes and bakes by Mahak was actually referred by one of my friend, right? So if you see here, it's a very small homemaker based business, so where they bake homemade cakes, and say they are given a WhatsApp contact here. So they can technically do WhatsApp integration, but I'm sure they didn't know how to do it, so they just put the WhatsApp number here. So but the idea is, if you put the WhatsApp integration link here, if I'm on a mobile, I click on the link, automatically my WhatsApp app opens. So it's very easy. Now people won't copy paste this number. And the other thing is, it's impossible to copy text from Instagram, right? So Instagram doesn't allow links and stuff like that. So that's going to be difficult. So you need to integrate WhatsApp here. So here again, the focus is pretty simple. They are a home-based business. They again don't do creative content like brand outlet, because they are a small business here. So their focus is very simple. They sell cupcakes, they sell cookies, they sell birthday cakes here. So all they need is photograph. So if you're particularly interested, let's say, in gifting this, you click on this and then you message them, and they get your address and they get it shipped to you. They have a home delivery option. I think they have a partner with, I don't know, Dunzo or somebody else for delivering it to your house and etc. They do some really good stuff. And if I'm not wrong, they do close to 40,000-50,000 rupees worth of monthly business, which I would say is a good number for a homemaker, right? So they're not a retail brand, but they're good. So what they do is they put photographs like this, and I wouldn't mind trying them out, right? So this is again a classic Instagram WhatsApp integration business going forward. Now this kind of deeper engagement It's not possible in Instagram because of the lack of reach and etc. Right? This is next. This is again a paper jewelry. I see a lot of home-based, college girls and some working professionals doing this. So they're trying to do some various. It's an artwork, right? So they do some really good artwork, and these are all homemade jugaad photography, right? There's no fancy photography here. It's just they just shoot it on a paper cup. They just shoot it against white wall. An iPhone camera is more than enough, and then they put it up. Okay, but trust me, the number of sellers that they get, the number of messages that they get is pretty huge. These are very small products like 100 rupees, 200 rupees, and etc. But again, what happens here is discovery on Instagram. People follow them, and then the sales ends at WhatsApp, right? And payment happens in GPay. So there's an entire cycle that's put up here, right? So as long as you have a good product, and if you are on Instagram, I think selling is not too much of a thing, right? And apart from that, personal health and wellness brands or feng shui, for example, or astrology, for example, they can put tips like this, like various yoga poses, or your some of the free tips for vastu consultation, feng shui consultation. Those can also be a part of it. There are still people looking out for stuff like this. And last but not the least, let me take a classic influencer type, right? So the Himesh is an influencer. He has close to 5 million subscribers on YouTube. So what he does is, he's more like a personal business consultant, but on the online world, he's actually, an influencer. So what he does is he keeps giving inputs, right? So let me just show you some of these things. So what he does is he covers some of the entrepreneur story, like he covered Big Bazaar stories, so he takes a lot of real life inspirational stories and makes a small video out of them, and he does storyboards and etc. He takes real life inspirations and basically conveys their story on Instagram feed, and he gets more than enough likes and followership, right? And he who all the people whom he influences, his followers, he try and convert them into paid customers for his consulting business, right? So that's the sales funnel that Himesh has basically had. His YouTube videos are really very interesting. He gives tips on business, motivation, entrepreneurship, and converts business for his consultation business, right? Again, Instagram is where he started. So yeah, so if you see here, let me quickly summarize you the overall inputs here. Let me go back to my slide here. One second. Yeah. I'm seeing a lot of questions in the chat. I will get to that and answer that. Okay, so now going back to this. Okay, so you definitely need to understand where your business falls. Like if your business needs real active marketing, like for example, the other gentleman who put software services, they would actually fall on the more passive side, because Instagram and software people don't relate that much. So we can do better on Facebook and stuff like that, whereas a homemade cake or a jewelry will go better on Instagram, right? So you can use this matrix to try and understand where you need to fall, where your business falls. But wherever your business falls, eventually, you convert them to bring it to WhatsApps, and integration is definitely easy. You just bring it to WhatsApp, and then, you just make sure that you do the sales conversion over there, right? And Facebook WhatsApp integration or Instagram WhatsApp integration is actually very easy for people who don't have, access to web developers, who don't have, access to what do we call that? Who don't have access to web developers, who don't have access to developers, programmers, and etc. Who have no time or resources for putting up a landing page, buying a domain, maintaining a server. That's all not needed. As long as you're on Facebook and Instagram, and you can easily bring in your people to WhatsApp and start converting the sales over there, right? And yeah, so let me quickly summarize. So you can run ads on Facebook, and Facebook understands the targeting from WhatsApp. So whatever person A and person B speak over in WhatsApp is being run through the Facebook advertising engine. So if anybody talks about, let's say for example, getting married, for example, matrimony ads can come on their Facebook feed, right? So for that, you should have done that Facebook WhatsApp integration, and you can leverage the targeting, right? And people who haven't integrated WhatsApp as a call to action in websites, go ahead and do that. Instagram, let me summarize, is a 4-step reach. Number one is creation of profile and maintaining profile so that people can come and see you, and then people start following you, then people start contacting you, and the purchase is made there, right? So Instagram to WhatsApp, you can completely forget landing pages and etc etc, directly Instagram to WhatsApp. So yeah, Instagram is suitable for all these business domains. But let's not forget, there are also some businesses Instagram might not support. They might need a separate strategy. We will discuss that a bit later. And yes, we ran through some of the case studies here, but apart from that, there are n number of brands doing enormously good numbers on Instagram, right? And I ran you through the 6-step guide for Instagram. Bio needs to be neat. It has to be very wise and witty. Number two is your content has to be pretty regular. You can't look forward to post one content now and let's say one content 10 days later. Then your face, your Instagram algorithm doesn't work that way, right? Now, how does the Instagram algorithm work is a more deeper subject, right? How many posts to do per day, right? And what frequency? When is it that you're overdoing the number of posts? All these will be covered in the 2-day seminar. So Instagram algorithm requires a deep discussion by itself. But the whole baseline that I want you guys to understand is post regularly and respond to comments, because if you respond to comments, there is a better chance that those people will come again and stick onto your page, right? And third is relevant hashtags. Don't use random hashtags. Use tools to find which hashtag is actually trending and try and use that. Fourth, improve the quality of content. Get help from content writers or your friends or professional agencies to get that done. Start doing video content. We will teach you some of the tools in the 2-day session on how do you do quick videos for Instagram and Facebook. Sixth is build relationship with influencers who can help grow your business. Don't just build followers, build relevant followers. And yes, not all businesses require Instagram, so you need to assess your business. So yeah, so that's the typically the model, the framework with which Instagram, Facebook, and ecosystem works on. So I would humbly request you guys to do an integrated approach rather than doing independent approach, right? For example, if I get to miss an ad on Instagram, there are high chances that I might pop into that ad in Facebook, right? So you need to make sure that you do an integrated approach rather than keeping the 3 buckets in a independent manner, right? So there I come almost to the end of my slides, right? So I think I'll open the floors up to questions now, and we can take it from there. So yeah.
So thank you, Santhosh, for. Am I audible? Santhosh?
Yes, very much so. Yeah.
Thank you, Santhosh, for taking us through a quick snapshot on what we can do with Facebook, Insta, and WhatsApp. And I'm sure the connectivity of Insta and Facebook and WhatsApp is one of the things that all of us who are trying to do digital sales have to immediately take, because most of the audience is right now either on WhatsApp or Insta or Facebook. So I think that's an ecosystem we can't afford to miss. And also, why we are doing this is also for the benefit of the viewers. I would like to reiterate that, see, in a post-COVID scenario where we've all been used to a kind of a brick and mortar world, I think what's going to go forward in terms of critical success for our business is going to be an understanding of digital. So I think for us to understand digital, you might be all in different scales of business. Some of you might be starting up and you can do your digital yourself. So you need to know some quick tricks like what Santhosh said. Where do you get your design done? Someplace like Canva, where do you get your free videos shot and all that, which you can do it and bootstrap it yourself. And for some people, if you are going to appoint an agency, then you need to kind of know actually what work to get done from an agency, how to work with an agency itself in digital, because digital itself is a new language. So working with an ad agency is different from working with a digital agency. So I think what in the paucity of time, Santhosh has done justice to giving you an understanding of where Insta, FB, and WhatsApp is. But I think the whole idea is also to give you more information through the today webinar. But for us, we wanted to kind of give you an understanding of what you will have in store for the today webinar. So that's why we thought we'll put this up for you. And we are happy to take questions now in the next 15-20 minutes. And then, before we go on to questions, I also, for the benefit of the viewers, I would like to share the today webinar details as well, so that any of you guys wanting to opt for that can, go and register. See, even in the today webinar, what we are going to do is multiple things that Santhosh spoke about being digital, going digital. We will go into a framework, which can be a ready-made framework for you, which you can, directly implement in the business. So either you can do it yourself, or we'll also tell you how you can, work with an agency and find an agency, but you can be on top of your digital business. So that's the whole idea of the, Good Digital Masterclass. So it's again, the way we do it, it's going to be a certified webinar by MMA or RAI. It's a 2-day webinar, so it's 3 hours each 3 hours tomorrow, 3 to 6, and 3 hours on Saturday, 1st and 2nd May, that is. And we're going to have some industry experts coming on board. I'll share that with you now. So the key digital skills will be addressed in this seminar. As I told you, we'll give, I'll shortly give you the link for for basically giving you the webinar at a special price. So Shakti, if you can just WhatsApp me the link, I'll just have it sent to the audience as well. Now, in terms of what we have in the webinar is something that I'm going to share now with you. So you will understand what are the different digital channels and how to set it up, and what are the assets you need to create for your business. How do you acquire customers digitally and increase your sales? How do you transact and do commerce online? How do you get your payments and all that going? How do you also logistically, which all are the options that you can tie up with? And once you get a customer, how you can keep engaging them to make them buy more from you. So that's also something we look at. And we look at today, Santhosh showed what is Facebook, Insta, and WhatsApp. But in this today thing, we'll cover, in a little bit deeper detail on how do we run a campaign in each of these, what are the settings, how do you work those things out and stuff like that. And the key resource people will be, of course, I'll curate the course. Santhosh is there as the lead faculty handling. Mr. Sohail Sattar of Basics will be joining us because they do about 20% of their business online. So he will give an understanding of how they started off online. We also have, for the keynote session, Mr. Mukul Bafna, who's a co-founder of Jabong. Jabong was one of the earliest e-commerce companies. So he's coming on board to deliver the keynote. And he's currently heading a company which is into, digitizing businesses. So they've digitized more than 50 businesses so far. He will share his journey and story with us. And we have a case study of High Design. So High Design does nearly 25-30% of the sale online. They are the largest selling, accessory manufacturer or a brand on Amazon. So Khanan, who heads e-commerce for High Design, will share High Design's case study. Then we have Jose Dominic, who heads the digital agency out of Bangalore, who will be coming and talking about 10 tips in order to work with a digital agency. So this is what we've got as our key resource people. And you will, of course, get your post sheets, your PDFs, and your worksheets. You will get access to mentors like Santhosh and Jose and all that, and a certificate by MMA or RAI at the end of this course. And all this for 1499. And this is the login that will be live for the next 30 minutes to an hour, where you can log in and make the booking for 1499 instead of 1999, which is the actual price. So go ahead, guys, whoever wants a little bit more detail. I think this is the best time to brush up on your skills. 2 days, we've kept it light, divided across 2 days into 3 and 3 hours. So I think it will help you understand this much better, this particular digital space much better. So I'll just stop screen sharing now, and we can get back to our questions. So I'm just going to also share the link here. Requesting the Bluecoy team to share the link on the chat window for the registration as well. So we can go, whoever wants to register can do the registration now. Yes, so Santhosh, I'll take a few questions from now. So there is Naveen Prashant who's asking, I'm having a mem page with about 174K followers, and any ideas on how to get clients for promotions or contacts to develop my digital marketing? So he's having a page where he's got followers. He wants to monetize it. How does he do it?
Yeah, so I think the answer is fairly simple. I think meme pages are more of a pop culture marketing, right? So people consume more memes these days, and the answer comes down to what kind of memes you put. Let's say, is it let's say related only entertainment related memes using movie content and etc. Or so it basically comes down to what kind of clients you have. But viewers you have, right? But let's say, for example, if I'm a business and I'm ready to pay money to that meme page for putting memes out and promoting my business, it has to reach the right audience. So that's my larger bit of concern. Like, for example, I know Chennai memes as a page, charges close to 5,000 to 8,000 rupees for one meme, posting one meme, and they give good reach as well, right? But Chennai memes is a very generic page where they can post about, let's say, a new restaurant in Chennai or a new store opening in Chennai, or an event in Chennai, etc. But if your meme is more specific to a particular domain or a particular purpose, then you need to start procuring businesses that can leverage your uses, right? But you need to go actively. Maybe what the I would say, let's say if you want me to give you step by step, then I would suggest, if I was in your place, I would put a small 4 5 pager PDF presentation, like about my meme page, my followers, what are the type of content we put in, and how do we do brand integrations. Like your meme, this is your brand and a product, how do you mix it and how do you promote it, right? So 2 3 examples and case studies. Then whoever I feel are the right clients for me, I will try and reach out to them using Facebook, Instagram, or email, and try and get a meeting to them and run them through my presentation, and try and get a contract done with them for a per post contract. Like for example, I can charge per post 1,500 rupees or 2,000 rupees, or maybe a monthly retainer of 10,000 rupees or 5,000 rupees or 8,000 rupees for putting, let's say, X number of memes. So that's how you need to build your business from there. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. I think I'll take this question. That's an interesting question here from Amarnath Tangavel. For a takeaway business, can we use digital platform instead of developing an app for it? Right. Okay. So this is a very common question, and it's a very logical question as well. So I think the answer will actually benefit most of the viewers here. Right. Uh, do not build an own e-commerce or a own app until a very what do you call it? Until you're pushed to do so. Right. If you're a small takeaway business, I'll tell you basically the cons of trying to build your own app. If you build your own app, you need to get it listed. So there comes the development cost, and then the the hosting cost, Apple Play Store and App Store cost, then your server cost, and then once you put the app, you won't get downloads. You need to promote it. Then you will put some more money onto promoting it. So if you're building an app, that comes along with its own cost, which I don't think is very viable for a takeaway business, considering the fact that the Swiggies and the Zomatos of the world are ruling it. In fact, this is one challenge I think Bala himself tried solving it in Dindigul Talapakatti, and it's fairly going good, where they wanted to convert a lot of business from Swiggy or Zomato or Uber Eats to more WhatsApp based orders, right? Because Swiggy, Zomato, Uber Eats takes away a 20 to 40% commission sometimes, but WhatsApp is completely their revenue, right? So we are working slowly on it. We are pushing, order through WhatsApp by doing a WhatsApp business integration, and people can order biryani in, let's say, just one click. If they ping a particular WhatsApp number, the WhatsApp catalog comes and they can select the menu and they can make the payment using Google Pay or on cash on delivery, and they can do it. So try avoiding building an app as much as possible. If your business really demands an app, then go for it. But on a high level, I would say definitely don't go for an app or a website, because it comes along with its cost, and promoting them is a big, a time-consuming stuff.
There's a question from Bala K. He says, is it possible to share information on marketing collaterals in WhatsApp without adding their numbers and without spamming them?
I quite didn't get that question. So is it possible to share the information marketing collaterals in WhatsApp without adding their numbers?
So, without a broadcast or making a group?
No, it's not possible, because what we need to understand is the basis on. See, there are a lot of chat applications in the world, right? So why WhatsApp is actually a hit is because WhatsApp definitely respects privacy, to a larger extent, right? So they are trying to end more spamming. In fact, they even recently rolled out an algorithm where you can't fake forward a message, fake news, more than once to a lot of people, and etc. Right? So without adding the numbers, sharing is going to be impossible. The only way would be to broadcast or to create a group, and stuff with that. Even I think there was one more question from somebody else regarding, what about WhatsApp? How can we attract more customers, making sure they are not getting spammed, right? So my humble suggestion would be, do not force customers into forming a WhatsApp group, because what happens is sometimes I get added into a WhatsApp group, and suddenly all nonsense content comes in, and I just immediately exit the group and I block the numbers and I keep moving forward, right? That's not the right approach, right? So what you should rather do is create a group, define a purpose for the group. Like for example, if I create a group only for digital marketing, and I send that link, and I send it only to serious people, saying, if you really want to make sure that you get good ideas, consultation on and remarks on your campaigns and etc., please join the group. Then if I willfully come and join the group, there's no chance that I will go outside from the group, right? So that's the strategy using which you should form WhatsApp group, not just flood numbers, open some groups and start spamming them. That's definitely not the right strategy, because I start losing respect towards the brand, right? And wherever there's no respect towards the brand, you cannot have huge profit margins. So that I believe in that. So don't spam your customers, send links, and make sure that people who are willing joins them. Yeah.
So, Santhosh, I had a question. Like, so there is a WhatsApp for business, right? What is the difference in that and the regular WhatsApp?
On functionality, there's no difference, except when I go to the profile of a WhatsApp, I get to see your business name, a small description, your services, your open time, close time, and your location. But if it's personal, you only see your personal name on the bio. That's the only difference. But apart from that, the core functionality is pretty much the same.
So
It's pretty
there's
much number will be known as a business number. That's as simple as that, right? So there's a lot of confusion around there about what's up for business around. Is it for bulk marketing and etc.? Nothing of that. Let me put one thing clear: WhatsApp does not do bulk marketing, and I don't think it will do as well, right? So one of the functionalities that WhatsApp business rolled out is, I'm sure if you guys have booked a ticket in Make My Trip or Book My Show, as soon as you finish booking your ticket, you get your ticket also in WhatsApp from a blue tick Make My Trip or from a blue tick Book My Show, right? That's the higher level of WhatsApp businesses, but that's not accessible to everybody. You need to have a minimum transaction of up to 5 lakh transactions per month. Third-party platforms like Twilio and etc. You can do it.
Okay. So we have another question from Nitya. He says, "Is it good idea to depend on any agency for promoting our business on social media? What is the decision? How do you take those decisions?"
It's basically a Mahabharata Ramayana type of decision, right? So it could it's there's a lot of factors that play in it, because my humble suggestion is, even I come from an agency background, but of lately the number of agencies that popped up in India is too much, right? And I'm with all due respect to all the businesses, but I also see a lot of inexperienced people who do not actually have experience, but maybe managing 2 or 3 Facebook pages, calling themselves an agency, opening up a good website in Wix and calling it an agency, right? So my point is pretty simple. I will cover this in detail in the 2-day webinar, but at least on a high level, you need to make sure, yes, definitely agency helps, no doubts about that. But I want you to get on a mindset that 90% of the agency is not going to solve your creative thought problem, but it will only solve your time problem, which means, hey, you know what? I don't have time to manage the Facebook by myself. I don't have time to manage Instagram by myself. So I'm hiring somebody. That's a right approach if you hire an agency, right? If you're hiring an agency saying, hey, you know what, they'll give extremely creative ideas, wonderful ideas, they will turn around my sales, they will help increase my bottom line to a larger number, and etc. 90% of the cases it might not happen, right? Maybe only 10 to 20% of companies can take up bottom line challenges and help in turning up the bottom line, and those guys apparently come at a slightly higher cost as well. But at least 90% of the people are only going to be a time solver for you, which means you don't have time to create a design, you don't have time to write content, you don't have time to post or reply to comments. That's where they will fill in. So if your expectation is right, you wouldn't be disappointed with the agency engagement. But if your expectation is like, I've given it to agency, they're suddenly going to give me X number of sales, I'm going to become let's say my business is going to turn around my bottom line overnight. If that is your expectation, 90% of the times, you will definitely end up, being disappointed, right? But apart from that, how do you identify an agency is good or not? What are the KPIs for them to set? What is the template with which you can measure an agency's success? And how do you make sure your agency performs well is something that we have a separate section on it on the 2-day webinar, which will be covering it. Hope I gave a fairly good answer on this.
Thanks, Santhosh. I think we see already few people have joined us. We can see the registrations happening. I think Nitya has come on board. Welcome, Nitya, for tomorrow's Go Digital webinar for 2 days.
So there's one more question from an anonymous question. Will this business method work? Step 1, WhatsApp catalog. Step 2, WhatsApp video call. Yes, that thing works. But I think the larger problem that you need to focus on is, if I'm on your WhatsApp already, which means I'm already thinking about buying your product, right? So whatever you put the 5 steps will definitely work. But how do you get that customers is the larger problem that I want you to start focusing on. But rest your step 5-step process of showing demo of your product in WhatsApp and etc. definitely works. For example, when I moved to London, I rented a house there. I didn't even look at the house. The real estate broker brought me on WhatsApp from his website. He took me through a WhatsApp video tour of the house, and I paid the advance completely online. I didn't even see the house until the day I stepped in back in London, right? So your 5-step process definitely works, but I think the larger focus should be on how do you reach out to more customers.
We have a question from Priya Gautam. She asks, it will be great to know the design guidelines for Instagram and also the description, how to manage the same. How do you write the content which goes into the description? Any rules, any tips you can give them?
Okay, so there's no framework or regulation as such, but definitely there are some best practices, right? And there's no defined best practices. Each company does it in different manner. Okay, but yeah, number one is like, for example, the content has to be definitely relevant and creative, right? It shouldn't be boring, right? I shouldn't be seeing the same content which I see on other pages on your page as well. So I need to make sure that the content is creative. Like I mentioned during the webinar, it has to be very infotainment driven. And design doesn't necessarily mean immediately overdoing too much colors and etc. You can keep it really simple. Even white background, black font of what you want to do is more than enough. Or sometimes you can have live pictures, but but most of the cases, the kind of ads and the kind of content that gets more engagements are ads in which people are there, because I come to social media for people, right? So rather than seeing product or service photos and etc., if I see a fellow human being, his emotions, and him trying to sell you a product or subtly establishing a product, that will actually work for. So try and have more candid, real images to to bring more life into your content, right? And apart from that, I think it's pretty much a trial and error of what will work for your business, what will not. You can there's Pinterest is there. You can go and try and refer to a lot of content guidelines on Instagram. You can do that. But if you're trying to run ads on Instagram, then you have a limitations of 20% text, which, because you're coming through the Facebook advertising ecosystem, you can't have an ad filled with text. Then your reach will obviously go a little less. So those are all some guidelines are there, right? Which is obviously even openly given in the Instagram, Facebook ad guidelines pages. So you can just Google Facebook ad and Instagram ad guidelines, and you'll be able to find the do's and don'ts there.
We have a question from Rupal Arora. Hi, Rupal. So Rupal asks, why FB is not apt for ads despite of a better reach than Instagram? Why people are moving to Instagram?
Okay, that's a very interesting question over there. I wouldn't say Facebook is completely irrelevant. Okay, Facebook still is relevant to a lot of things. For example, if I try and run a lead generation ad right now, Facebook will definitely give me much better results than Instagram. Okay, but at the same time, it depends on the product as well. If it's a fashion product, if it's an e-commerce product, Instagram definitely works better. But if it's a real estate product, like a house or an apartment or an etc., Facebook definitely works a little better. It all comes down to your target audience and who your target community are. If the target community is new age millennials, then I think Instagram is the right choice. If your target is actually let's say the mature category, then Facebook is definitely the right choice over there. But when you look into the organic reach, Facebook has completely gone down, because Facebook, maintaining a Facebook official page, unless you back it up by a credit card, is almost useless. But Instagram in that way, definitely works out good. And that's obviously an statistics released by Instagram earlier this year, that every Instagram user follows at least one business page, right? So which means there is definitely scope, as long as your business page is definitely interesting and stuff like that, right? Oh, that's this interesting question that I need to take. Okay, I think it's from Sandeep Suresh who put, should I do the digital marketings like Gary Vee said, right? So yes, Gary Vee definitely positions himself as definitely the leader in digital marketing and stuff like that. Yes, whatever Gary Vee says will work, no doubts about that, but in the United States of America, not in India, right? Because India is a whole new beast by itself. There's a lot of corporates and a lot of companies which come to India and end up failing, because I need to say this in Tamil. I take excuse here. நம்ம ஊர்ல பிசினஸ் பண்ணிட்டா எந்த ஊர்லயும் பிசினஸ் பண்ணிடலாம், ரைட்? ஸோ அந்த மாதிரி ஒரு aspect. So whatever Gary Vee said is definitely fine. It's for the larger audiences, but India works in a different manner. India is very conventional. For example, let's say, for example, in India, people do not spend on apps. Like, for example, people don't want to spend on, for example, if there is an app for which you need to pay, people don't spend that. They try and take the APK version, try to get it for free. But if you need to pay for something in the online segment, people don't do that in India, right? But Gary Vee comes from a land where people pay for online stuff. People pay for games. People pay for downloading apps, which we don't do, right? So the strategy here will be completely very different. So whatever Gary Vee says, take the best practices, but you need to have the Indian masala and then do the Indian version of it, not directly what Gary Vee says. That not work. I would say Neil Patel is a better alternative to what Gary Vee says, because Neil Patel drives things in a technical manner, but Gary Vee drives in a more communication manner. So that's my answer for that.
So I'd like to welcome Amarnath. Amar has actually enrolled, and your payment has come through, Amar. Thanks a lot, and welcome Nitya. We have Nitya on board as well for tomorrow's webinar, and there are about 6 more registrations that have happened. Thank you guys, all of you. Looking forward to having you tomorrow. And for the others, I've just again dropped in the link in case you would want a much detailed 2-day run through of digital. Please do go ahead and subscribe for a 1499 special price. But otherwise, as well, please do stay in touch with the community. And we'll take a couple of more questions. So there's Santhosh from MKK, Santhosh MKK. Can I display products in WhatsApp catalog and do WhatsApp call to show the product to the
Yeah,
customer?
I think that's what I answered now because I think yeah. So I think that's what I answered now. So that 5-step process is definitely going to work, no problem at all, right? So I think the larger focus there should be on that business model will work. That's your answer. But I think the focus should be on how do you get more customers to come to your WhatsApp. So that should be the more focus. But if I'm on your WhatsApp already, so which means I have a recommend for the product, right? So it's between whether you or your competitor from whom I'm going to buy it. So your 5-step process will definitely work, no doubts about that. But it all comes down to how creatively you display your product outside WhatsApp to bring those customers into WhatsApp. That should be the larger focus, but your 5-step process will work.
Wonderful.
Yes. So any other questions?
Any other questions? We'll take a couple of last questions before we call it a day for
Yes,
the session.
Sandeep Suresh asks, is Instagram good for counseling and consulting? Definitely, it's good for counseling and consulting, but you cannot expect instant results because I see your other comment that it's been 22 days and you have 55 followers. Unless you have at least a 5,000 followers, it's impossible to start finding customers, right? So you need to make sure your content is really very good, flashy, and you need to promote it to ensure more viewers and visitors. So you need to at least try and reach out to 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 users before which you will start converting them for business. So don't look forward to open up a Facebook, Instagram page and immediately expect results. Again, your expectation is going to only disappoint you. So you need to make sure that you put enough effort in terms of developing good amount of content. And more than I have seen your page, Sandeep Suresh, because I know you because I've seen your page also. I would suggest you put some of the client testimonials, like how your consultation has actually helped other customers in terms of value adding to them. So those real life testimonials will actually help infuse trust to develop more future customers for your counseling and consulting business.
We will discuss about the content buckets that you can form for your business tomorrow and day after as well.
Yep. So
I think all about it.
Most of the questions here.
Most of the questions are answered.
Yes.
Thanks a lot, attendees, and thank you, Santhosh. Thank you for spending your time.
It was a nice pleasure again. So looking forward to tomorrow then.
Yeah, looking forward to tomorrow's quickfire 2 days of digital marketing and go digital. And for audience, once again, anyone likes to probably make a payment, you can do it. We'll keep it open for the next half an hour. Today, now it's 1:15. We'll be open till 1:45, and then we'll go back to the regular price of 1:59. Thanks a lot for joining you, and please do join us. Thanks a lot for joining us, and please to join us for the evening where we have a funding masterclass by the MD of Dindigul Talapakatti. That's at 4 to 5:30 today, and tomorrow, of course, we have the webinar by Santhosh as well. Thank you. Have a great day, guys. Bye.
Sure. Thank you, Bala. Thank you. Thank you.
There's someone who asked, Murugan, will the training session be recorded and available as video later? No, see, this is the beauty about this webinar. It's a live training. So we are able to chat. We are able to take your questions. We are able to give your solutions immediately. Training, which is recorded, it's more like it's a one-way session. You have a lot of that happening in Udemy and other places. So I would recommend you that you always attend live sessions. Just maybe post a live session if there's a specific topic. Going into a recorded session makes sense. So Murugan, to answer your question, no, we don't have a recorded version. We do have recording for our own purposes, but we are not making that as a session and posting it anywhere. But I would recommend you to please come for the live session. Santhosh says, I have registered. Have you got my payment? Yeah, yes, we have got your payment. You will get your confirmation mail shortly. Thanks a lot, Santhosh MKK, for coming on board. Welcome. Look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. Thank you, guys. Have a great day. Signing off, Santhosh. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Bye.